Why parents should pray and advise their youth. The day it happened, the silence was louder than anything I had ever heard before. The whole campus seemed to hold its breath, and we all knew something was terribly wrong. I still remember the way the news spread like wildfire. One of our classmates, someone we all knew, had been caught up in something too dark for his young life to bear. My name is Ada, and I was just an ordinary student in my second year at a university in Nigeria when this story unfolded. Universities in our country are often seen as places of hope, where dreams are shaped and futures are built, but they can also be dangerous places, filled with temptations and choices that can break even the strongest of spirits. There was a boy named Emeka. He wasn't just a face in the crowd. He was one of the brightest students in our class, always cheerful, always the life of the party. His jokes could make even the most stressed students laugh. But what most people didn't see or chose to ignore was the pressure Emeka was under. His family wasn't wealthy, and he felt like he had to succeed to lift them out of poverty. When Emeka started hanging out with some older boys on campus, no one thought much of it. They were smooth talkers, dressed in flashy clothes, always carrying an air of mystery. They called themselves brothers and promised a life of power, protection, and money. But to the rest of us, they were just gang members, hiding behind a veneer of charisma. One day, I noticed Emeka was changing. He stopped attending classes regularly, and his once bright face seemed darker, more tired. He still smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Then came the rumors, whispers that he had joined a cult. At first, I didn't believe it. How could someone like Emeka, so full of potential, throw everything away for something so dangerous? I remember the night vividly. It was late, and most of us were in our dorms, preparing for an exam the next day. Suddenly, there were shouts and footsteps echoing through the halls. I rushed out only to see Emeka being dragged away by campus security. His clothes were torn, and his face was bruised. The look in his eyes was haunting, fear mixed with shame. We later learned that he had been caught during an initiation ritual, something sinister and violent. The brothers had promised him safety, but in reality, they had trapped him in a cycle of crime and danger. Emeka's dreams of a better future were shattered in that moment. What broke my heart the most was meeting his mother. She came to the campus, her face lined with worry and sorrow. She spoke to anyone who would listen, asking what had happened to her son. I prayed for him every day, she said, her voice trembling. But maybe I should have done more. Maybe I should have talked to him more about the dangers of bad company. Her words stayed with me. I thought about my own parents, how they always told me stories to guide me, how they prayed for me every morning before I left for school. I realized then that prayer wasn't just about asking for protection. It was about creating a foundation of love and guidance that could withstand even the worst temptations. Emeka's story isn't unique. Across campuses in Nigeria and even the world, young people face peer pressure to fit in, to find shortcuts to success, or to belong to something greater than themselves. But those choices often lead to destruction. If you're a parent reading this, please don't underestimate the power of your words and prayers. Talk to your children about the dangers they might face, even if they seem uncomfortable or dismissive. Show them love, but also set boundaries. Let them know they can always come to you, no matter what. And if you're a young person reading this, remember Emeka's story. Remember that true strength comes from walking away from things that don't serve your future, no matter how tempting they might seem in the moment. I don't know where Emeka is today, but I hope he's found a way to rebuild his life. I hope he's learned that the love of a family and the strength of good choices are worth more than any promise of power or wealth. And I hope his story serves as a reminder to us all. The choices we make today shape the rest of our lives. Please subscribe for more true life story.